Hi there, everyone. Good evening. I want to share my insights about what we call ego. I've heard some spiritual ideas about getting rid of ego or transcending it, but I would probably say that these are actually false ideas. I think a more healthy perspective on ego is to first investigate as to what this mechanism is. It takes a bit of self-inquiry to actually realize that there is a mechanism inside us that has one, survival instincts, two, many different beliefs, conditionings, expectations of reality, and a lot of attachments and identifications with different things in our lives, which forms obviously an identity that we call me. I've heard a lot of different spiritual teachers say the ego is the little self, the lower self, and that we have a higher self, who we are. But through time, I've also discovered that, I don't know, these intellectual ideas create more separation. So I get my mind actually starts thinking that there's something higher than myself and I'm lower. But then I think over time, I start to realize that the ego is more of a contracted sense of self. And that practicing and connecting with that part of me that is deeper than the body and mind, I've realized that the ego does not really exist the way I thought it did. It's more like a mental construct. So it's actually, the more deeper I go in my own spirit presence over time, I've realized that it's almost like an illusion. It's like a bundle of thoughts, beliefs that are like wrapped around in my being. I don't know how to explain it more clearly than that. So basically, I would say that, and just bear with me because I'm trying to articulate something that is subtle and not explaining the ego in a way that I've read from books in the past. But there's a mechanism, inner mechanism inside us that it's almost like a filter, like a bunch of filters that make us see life in a very fragmented way, like very limited way, and has all these projections and ideas about how life should be, how life is, And we need to step back, almost become aware of what's behind our eyes, come back into our body, and see life from a back seat, from behind the mind. So, and as you observe life a little more deeply from presence, you will notice this mechanism come up and start telling you a bunch of stuff. There's these little voices. They're like a tape recorder, and they keep replaying certain things. And you could use the spiritual practice of self-inquiry that I've talked about in a previous video to dismantle this smaller contracted sense of self. And it kind of starts fading away. And you'll find that it's actually, you start getting more quieter inside and start connecting more with your own soul that is actually still and silent. And you won't be bothered as much by those waves that come up. We are, let's just say you've heard that expression that we are the ocean, and the ego is like the wave in the ocean. So you basically become more aware of that ocean within your own heart and being. And the waves that come up are just the thoughts, beliefs, and the conditionings and expectations that, and identifications and attachments that are like waves. They arise within our ocean of our being. Like the thoughts coming, going, and emotions arising like waves. So the ego to me is like a bunch of waves that keep coming up. And the best way to deal with this contracted sense of self is to not to take it so seriously, but to, I think in initial stages, you have to witness it, be present with it completely in order for it to start dismantling or going through what they call an ego death. So this is as much as I can share with you right now, and I'm really doing my best to really describe what this inner mechanism is. But hopefully over time I'm going to convey it more in even more deeper, authentic way, what this contracted sense of self is. At times I can feel it arising within me like a wave, but not as often. So I'm finding it's starting to fade over time, and finding a more expanded and greater sense of freedom within myself as it comes up. I stay detached from what it's doing. So basically there's emotions coming up. I use self-inquiry to dismantle what's behind it, the underlying energy behind that emotion, and just allow the emotion to go through and not to resist it. It's the same with thoughts. I'm just allowing the thoughts to go through my whole being, in and out. And basically just allowing that ego to express itself. And just allow things to just be. Thank you for listening to me. Much love. Have a great evening. Bye. Until next time. And of course, if you like my videos, please subscribe below to my YouTube channel. Thank you. Much love.